Dear student, today we shall discuss another chronic myeloproliferative disorder known as essential thrombocytosis. So it is a uncommon myeloproliferative disorder of unknown origin, and it is characterized by malignant proliferation in the hemopoietic stem cell of myeloid series, in which the megakaryocytic component is dominantly affected. So when the megakaryocytic component of myeloid series undergo malignant proliferation, large number of platelet is going to produce, and that they enters into the circulation. So the total count of platelet in the circulation is going to abnormally increased, and that may lead to development of a variety of manifestation. So this is a primary essential thrombocytosis. Sometimes a secondary essential thrombocytosis may be seen, but in this condition it is the platelet count is secondary to the other cause. In the primary condition, as you know, that the etiology is still unknown, but the secondary cause of thrombocytosis is known, that it may be seen in certain condition like chronic infection, like severe hemorrhage, like in the post-operative state, in case of iron deficiency anemia, in case of rheumatoid arthritis, in case of ulcerative colitis, in case of sometime post-splenectomy. So in all these secondary condition, there is somewhat increase in the platelet count, but it differs from the primary thrombocytosis in that sense the total platelet count is not much more increase here in secondary condition. It is more than about 3 to 4 lakh, but in the primary it is more than 10 lakh per cubic mm. And the cytogenetic study shows that they are not associated with abnormal chromosomes or any other mutation in case of secondary thrombocytosis. So primary thrombocytosis, where it is idiopathic, it is etiology is unknown. Most commonly it is seen in the 40 to 50 year of the age, and female are more commonly affected than male. It has been seen that primary essential thrombocytosis undergo or associated with hereditary, or it may familial in tendency. But the most important fact is that the exact etiopathogenesis is still unknown. Why megakaryocytic megakaryocytic component of myeloid series undergo malignant proliferation? The basic mechanism is still not clear, but it has been seen that like other chronic myeloproliferative disorder, this is also associated with some of the cytogenetic abnormality, and it has been seen that 50% of the cases of essential thrombocytosis is associated with JAK2 mutation, JAK, capital J, capital A and K mutation. Somewhat it may be also associated with MPL and CALR mutation. All are in capital MPL and CALR mutation. So this is proved that it is somewhat associated with some of mutation in cytogenetic study. In this condition, the basic defect is that there is absence of thromboprotein. That protein actually regulate the megakaryocytic differentiation and their maturation, but it is going to absent in case of essential thrombocytosis. So the control over the differentiation and maturation of megakaryocytes are going to loss, and so large number of platelet is going to produce, and they enter into the circulation from the bone marrow, and that creates problem. This platelet is abnormal in function, and so due to the abnormal in function there is increased bleeding tendency, hemorrhagic tendency, and there is more increase of thrombosis due to the hypercoagulability of the blood. The onset of the disease is very much insidious. So the major manifestation in this condition is only two. One is thrombosis. Chances of formation of thrombus is going to increase, and increase bleeding tendency due to the abnormal function of platelet. Although the count is very much increased in case of primary thrombocytosis, both artery and venous thrombosis is going to seen in this condition, and spleen is somewhat increased due to the infiltration. There is a very important manifestation is sometimes seen in case of essential thrombocytosis, that there is a painful and burning sensation in the hand, followed by edematous changes in the skin, and that manifestation is very much relieved by the intake of aspirin, and that is very important clinical findings is sometimes seen in case of essential thrombocytosis. So the diagnosis of essential thrombocytosis is again made by the laboratory findings, and in laboratory findings you already know that what will be the major finding in the blood picture PBS, that is the platelet count is abnormally increased. It is more than 10 lakh, 20 lakh, but it is increased. The PBS, if peripheral blood examination we do, that will be find the platelet size is large, it is hypogranular, and there is megakaryocytic fragment is seen in the PBS examination. So this type of feature generally suggests essential thrombocytosis. Another finding like RBC, in the morphology of the RBC, the count will be within normal limit because its white cell is unaffected. WBC count is slightly increased, and the hematocrit level is within normal limit. So this type of findings is very much helpful in differentiation of essential thrombocytosis from other type of chronic myeloproliferative disorder like CML, like polycythemia vera, like myelofibrosis, in which the different component is abnormally high. Like in case of polycythemia vera, you know that it is dominantly RBC count is going to very much increase, whether platelet and WBC count is also increased, but RBC is mainly affected. In case of CML, you know that the leukocyte count is very much increased, where in case of essential thrombocytosis it is slightly increased. In case of polycythemia vera, hematocrit level is very much increased, but here it is normal. So this type of finding are very much important for the differentiating the other chronic myeloproliferative disorder with these laboratory tools. So for the bone marrow is concerned, the bone marrow is hypercellular, especially the megakaryocytic series shows that there is a hyperdiploid megakaryocytes are dominantly present, and somewhat there is fibrostic changes are seen in the bone marrow. एंड साइटोजेनेटिक स्टडी की फिर वहीं हम लोग बात करें तो साइटोजेनेटिक स्टडी शोज दैट दे आर 50% ऑफ द केसेस ऑफ एसेंशियल थ्रोम्बोसाइटोसिस इज एसोसिएटेड विथ JAK2 म्यूटेशन, So this is a very important finding. You must know that JAK2 mutation is seen in almost all chronic myeloproliferative disorder. So far the differential diagnosis is concerned, again I told you that differential diagnosis is mainly done with secondary thrombocytosis. The cause is already known, and you know this fact that in the secondary thrombocytosis the platelet count is not much more increased than primary, and it is not associated with the cytogenetic abnormality. अदर क्रोनिक माइलोप्रोलिफरेटिव डिजॉर्डर से भी हम लोग इसको डिफ्रेंशिएट करते हैं। पॉलीसाइथेमिया वेरा से डिफ्रेंशिएट कैसे करेंगे, तो पॉलीसाइथेमिया वेरा में आप जानते हैं कि आरबीसी काउंट बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ा रहता है। माइलोफाइब्रोसिस से कैसे डिफ्रेंशिएट करेंगे, तो माइलोफाइब्रोसिस में हम लोग को देखते हैं कि आरबीसी मॉर्फोलॉजी इज वेरी मच डिफरेंट। देयर इज टीयर ड्रॉप पाइक्लोसाइटोसिस। टीयर ड्रॉप पाइक्लोसाइटोसिस इज सीन in case of myelofibrosis, which is not seen in essential thrombocytosis. So in this way we can easily differentiate from CML. You can easily differentiate that what is in CML. The major finding is what? The total WBC count is very much increased. It is more than lakh. It is associated with the cytogenetic study, so that it is associated with BCR-ABL fusion gene. But this is type of changes are not seen in case of essential thrombocytosis. So by this major finding we are able to differentiate essential thrombocytosis from the other chronic myeloproliferative disorder. So far the hematocrit level is concerned, it is another very important finding. You must know that in hematocrit level is normal in case of essential thrombocytosis. It is increase in polycythemia vera, it is decrease in myelofibrosis, and in case of CML it is either normal or it is decreased. So by these changes of hematocrit level, it also very much helpful in differentiating chronic myeloproliferative disorders. So far the treatment of essential thrombocytosis is concerned, the major treatment is given by the drug known as hydroxyurea. It is the drug of choice actually, and that suppress the production of megakaryocytic cell, and sometime alpha 2 interferon is added. Aspirin is given to prevent the painful burning sensation that is going to happen in the hand in case of essential thrombocytosis. If the platelet count is very much large, very much increased, then plasmapheresis is done, that is the removal of the platelet paresis is done, that is removal of the platelet from the circulation so that it remain within the normal limit. So in this way the treatment is conservative and it is somewhat to some extent it is effective. And so far the prognosis of this disease is concerned, that the average lifespan of the patient is about 15 years after the diagnosis of essential thrombocytosis. But in some condition the morbidity and mortality is due to the bleeding and thrombus formation. This is the major complication which can be seen in essential thrombocytosis. But as the disease progress, and if it is present more than 15 years, there may be chance of conversion of essential thrombocytosis in myelofibrosis. And if your patient persist or survive more than 20 years, so then in 1 to 5% of the cases there may be chance of conversion of essential thrombocytosis into acute leukemia. And another sometime condition like because of massive splenomegaly sometime is going to seen, so that spleen may undergo infarction. So this is sometime another cause of mortality and morbidity in the patient and decrease the life expectancy of the patient. So in this way these are the complication and prognosis of essential thrombocytosis. So essential thrombocytosis, although again I told you that it is a rare disease, it is a rare myeloproliferative disorder, but you must know that because sometime short notes may be asked on this topic, and you must know the differential diagnosis of chronic myeloproliferative disorder. This make essential thrombocytosis we have. So this is important fact about the essential thrombocytosis you must know, and in the next class we shall try to finish chronic myeloproliferative disorder by discussing myelofibrosis and other some important aspect of chronic myeloproliferative disorder. Till, thank you.